My name is Mareike Schmalz, and I'm really happy to announce our first speaker. We're going to talk about fuel cell compressors, and my guest is head of sales and member of the management at FISCHER. Please welcome on stage Jens Krechting.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. So I'm already intrigued, but we'll keep that for later. Maybe we start with a more general introduction. So with 3,000 units in the field, FISCHER is a technology leader in air compressors, particularly for fuel cell technology. Can you tell us a little bit about that and why we need air compressors for fuel cell technology?
Why we need a compressor, yeah. In general, fuel cell runs with hydrogen and oxygen. So you have the main component of a fuel cell is a stack. You have numerous of membranes, and on each membrane you operate hydrogen on the one side and oxygen on the other side. And at this point, at the membrane, there is a chemical reaction that produces electricity, and that's the magic behind the fuel cell. Basically, you have hydrogen coming from the one side, and the air side, cathode side, makes the system efficient. And for that, you need a very efficient air compressor.
And that's where you come in with your product?
That's where we come in.
OK. So what is it that particularly sets your product apart? What's your core technology?
Our USP is our bearing system. Other than the majority of our competitors, we are working on a spiral groove bearing. The most familiar bearing system is a foil bearing. We don't need the foil. We have lower bearing gaps. We can operate on a significant higher efficiency and also on a longer lifetime. In terms of TCO, long lifetime is what you need. Heavy-duty truck requirements are around 1.6 million kilometers, which equals about 25,000 operating hours. And so you need to provide a very high operating window, very long lifetimes and guaranteed lifetime. And this is what our bearing system is for. TCO is king, and also since the compressor is the highest parasitic load in the system, you want a compressor that is as efficient as possible. And with our bearing system, we can provide the highest efficiency on the market.
So by using your system, you also help like reducing cost for the entire fuel cell system?
Yeah, that's important. Again, if you can reduce the parasitic load in the system, you have more power available for the fuel cell system itself.
Yeah, sounds perfect. So regarding the topic of fuel cells, what importance do you think this topic will have in the future, for example, in the mobility sector? Or do you also look at stationary applications? Like, what is your personal view on that topic?
In general, I think a very important topic is decarbonization. I think this message should have been received by everybody by now.
Definitely.
Fuel cells can play a big role, can provide a big effort in this discussion. In the end of the day, we think that it'll be a mix out of different technologies. So you have BEVs that are on the market, you have synthetic fuels, and also fuel cells. So in the end of the day, it will be a mix out of all portions. And what we currently do, we deliver into various applications. So the biggest trend currently, of course, is heavy-duty truck.
Okay.
That's where we are in. We deliver marine, we deliver to bus, we deliver rail, we deliver stationary applications. In the last few months, we see more and more aviation also. That comes with different demands, with different issues, but we see that. We are in the air already, and this is also a clear trend that is coming, but producing components for fuel cells, you want a wide range. You want more feet on the ground. If there's one or two markets hitting volume, you want to be in it.
Yeah, sounds like you already aim at a large portfolio, large client base. So as far as I heard it from your answer, you are more focused on the heavier vehicle side, probably smaller vehicles are more left for battery electric solutions, but still there is like a big variety. You're talking about trucks, you're talking about aviation.
Yeah, in the end, you have fuel cells which go into different applications. So, and the fuel cell could be the same fuel cell for different applications. So, out of our perspective, we want to make the fuel cells itself as attractive and efficient as possible to hit the market. And there we are in the discussion what we had before. So we need to work on to make the fuel cell systems as desirable as possible to the market, also against the other technologies. And that's our aim, to be as efficient as possible.
Okay. You've been already looking at the nice little thing that you brought on stage, and I've been looking at it too. Can you tell us a little bit what you brought here and what's it all about?
This little thing is the latest product which we bring on the market right now. So we're delivering this since this year. That's the new 120K platform.
Okay.
This little thing provides a motor power of 23 kilowatts.
Okay.
And can serve fuel cells from 80 to 150 kilowatt fuel cells. So we operate on a very modular platform. So the base machine comes with a compressor, single-stage compressor, but we can also add a second compressor to achieve higher pressure, or even we can build on a turbine on the other side. And in terms of efficiency and TCO, you want a compressor that is as efficient as possible. Again, highest parasitic load needs to be as efficient as possible. And with the expander version, we can recover the exhaust stream from the fuel cell, which is waste air stream, recover it and bring, depending on the pressure loss in the system, 25 to 40% more performance to the compressor without additional motor power. And this is a significant boost of efficiency.
Sounds great. I also want to invite the audience, in case you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. I will come to you with the microphone. So, yeah, feel free to, at any point, raise your hand and enter our discussion. So far, I don't see any questions, but I surely have the next one. So you said this is one of your latest products. Maybe we can look a little bit more in the future, like what other developments and innovations are you considering for the future?
Yeah, of course. So coming back to this machine, so we did the next step in development and have serial falling products. So in comparison to the last revision, we have 50% of less components. We have significantly more power and cost level, which is very important. We have been able to reduce this also significantly. So this is a serious product now, and we're able to produce 15,000 units per year. So we are ready for the next step for the market. So this is the machine platform that we can deliver now. We also, on our booth, we also have the new larger machine, which is the 90K. This machine can serve fuel cells from, let's say, 150 kilowatts all the way to 260 kilowatts with just one compressor system. And again, very platform, one stage, two stage, and expander version, very, very high efficient. And in addition to that, if you want to work very high efficient, you want to work the expander version. If you use the expander version, you use the exhaust stream from the fuel cell, which contains quite some moisture and water. And you can think that if you have a compressor wheel that turns 120,000 RPMs, water could be a problem on the wheel.
Yeah.
So water management is a big argument, and some customers are quite, let's say, afraid of water. So what you need is a water separator. What you can buy on the market has a separation rate from, let's say, 60–65%. Since some customers are not happy with what they have, so we decided to develop our own water separator. This is ready, available. You can see that on our booth. We measured it, and it has a separation rate from 90+%, and that gives another boost in efficiency, but also lifetime of the whole compressor system.
Yeah, you told me you have really reliable products and you have guaranteed lifetime. So maybe we can dig a little bit into that. Can you give us maybe some numbers or?
Some numbers, yeah. That always depends on load profile of the customer and on conditions you run the whole system. So if you have a compressor that you run like 97% all the time, full speed, it's a different story than if you have a stable load profile. But 25,000 operating hours warranty is possible.
Okay.
Not with every customer, not with every application. So we have to be part of the integration of the fuel cell itself. We have to work together with a customer to really agree on a certain load profile, and then we can calculate what we can do in terms of warranty hours. But this by far is the highest lifetime that can be guaranteed on the market.
Okay, thank you. So coming back to the topic, oh, I see we have a question in the audience.
I can.
Hello,
Hi.
this is Aras. I would like to ask a question about the air compressors. What kind of air compressors do you use for your system? What kind of air compressors do you use for your system?
What kind of air?
Compressors.
What air compressors?
Yes, what kind of?
Yeah, I mentioned before, we have an electric motor, and we use a spiral groove bearing, which has, we have a shaft, we have grooves, radial and axial, and we have a liftoff of the shaft at about 3,000 RPMs, and then our shaft runs in an air film, and in an air film only. So there is no wear and tear. We have a high number on start-stops. So you could think of, so if you don't have a foil or, and you have a liftoff at 3,000 RPMs, you have contact until 3,000 RPMs. This is no problem. So earlier on, we disassembled machines with 300,000 start-stops. We disassembled the machine, did some analyze, but there was no mark whatsoever on any part of the shaft and bearing system. So also start-stops is no problem, in addition to the high lifetime.
Yeah. Looks like we have a follow-up question.
Actually, my question is a little bit different. What kind of air compressors do you use?
What kind of air compressors do we use?
Yeah, do you use for your system? Yes.
Well, we don't use, we build air compressors. And this is our air compressor, which can be used in a fuel cell, and that's the cathode side in a fuel cell, and that's the main field that we're working on. We have some other industrial applications that we can also work in our compressor, but mainly we use this compressor and it's developed mainly for fuel cell cathode air side. Thank you.
Okay, looks like we could clarify that question.
Yeah.
So here are the experts for the compressor technology. Better visit them at their booth and they can show you more about their products. So talking about innovation, do you also cooperate with universities or participate in funded projects?
Yeah, very important. So in general, we work together with quite some OEMs, with some fuel cell manufacturers, some large fuel cell manufacturers. We work with integrators, we work with other industrial companies, but also we work with, for example, Forza, the Forza race car. I think everybody knows it. We sponsor, so they use our compressor. They're quite happy with it. And we also work with institutes and universities. And this is quite beneficial because you have the latest and greatest knowledge from universities right away. And also in our industry, having engineers that are up to speed on fuel cells is very important. So that's why we also work with some institutes and universities, but other teams also. So there's a close cooperation.
So it's for technical know-how, but it's also for the people.
Yes, of course.
Bring in new employees.
Of course. So, for example, if you have people in universities that work on projects to have fuel cell applications and physically work on these, people that graduate on university and have physical experience in this field are very desired, and that's why we work with them.
Yeah, I can relate. So what I learned is that Fischer is particularly active in concept development, small series. You also look into series development, but now we are at the point where you consider the next step, the scale up, going into the direction of series production and support. I assume this is a big milestone and a big goal for the future. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, that's a very big, very good point, and very big point, and very important point right now in the moment. We come from engineering, prototypes, and small series. We know what we're good in. Yeah. One of the biggest challenges in our industry in the next years will be the scale up. So you can have the best product on the market technically, but if you don't manage to scale up on IITF volume and processes, so cost down, quality up, volume up. So if you cannot follow the market, you will disappear. So again, you can have the best product on the market, but if you don't manage to scale up to automotive or automotive-like processes, you will not make it. So there's a question that you have to ask yourself. Do I want to do it myself? So you hire people, you hire knowledge, and build up these processes with knowledge that you build from inside, or you team up with somebody who's already there and fits to you, so you have a win-win situation for both partners.
So we're talking about partnerships.
Yeah, so either you do it yourself or you do partnerships. So we have a very strong partner for the Chinese market. Rest of world, this year we are thinking about the options that I just explained. So also we discussed that internally in our management team. So we know what we are good in. We have the best product on the market technically, but we are not the large series supplier. So currently, so this year we will finish the discussion, do it ourselves or team up with somebody that fits to us, fits to the processes, and then in 2024 we are planning a serial production location in Europe for rest of world. So that are the ideas that run through our head and decisions that need to be taken soon, because as soon the market hits, you have to be able to produce volume. So we are in serial tools and able to produce a certain volume, but also need to have your quality and cost structure under control, and on a more and more automotive level to be able to follow the market also in different regions. And for that you need a global and large production platform. Definitely.
I think we are definitely at a crucial point in time regarding the whole technology. We see it when we look around at the fair, like this has grown so much. We see the scale up here already. We are very excited to see the scale up at your company too for the next years. So for everybody who's interested in learning more about what the company Fischer is doing, feel free to visit them at their booth. It is E30, if I'm correct?
E30, yeah. We have all new products. So the new platform 120K, we have the smaller one, the 150K on the booth. We have the large concept on the booth too, which will come in serial tools also. I mentioned before the 90K for the big fuel cells. We have the 90K platform also on our booth. Also, we have our new inverters. So we also move towards new inverter technology and global supply chain. And we also have our water separator on the booth. So everything what comes to the market now, what will come to the market this and next year, we have on the booth. We quite have some ideas for the future. So come along, our booth is right there, E30. Come along and talk to us.
So, what a good final word. Thank you very much for the nice talk. Please feel free to visit the booth and give him one last applause. Thank you very much for the nice talk.
Thank you.